All right, more BCA. Switch tables, move over to the other side. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I hadn't warmed up on this table or played on it really at all, so it takes me a minute to get the speed dialed in. But don't scratch me. Okay. Got kicked around a little bit, so lost my cue ball. But still a good break. Opens things up pretty nicely. And a little funny on the one, so I think I have to open up with a safe here. Similar to the situation from the last match, there's a lot of traffic down table. So at least in this sort of situation, guys, you just want to create distance, right? Just get the cue ball away from the object ball. If you end up blocking them, great. And I'm at the point where I am trying to be a little more specific with that. I'm not just taking simple safe to create distance, which in some cases can bite me. But you got to take those risks as you're learning the new skills. So I don't fully get him behind the 12 here. And John's got an established 459. He had plenty of games behind his Fargo. But he's got to look at the one, I'm pretty sure. He might even be able to cut this in. The problem is the two ball's hanging over the left side and could be tough to get on that unless you're rolling into it. If you try to come off the left, cut into the two, maybe it's a scratch. Oh no, he is blocked. He has to kick at it. Okay, so my cue ball position was pretty good. Good kick. Something I noticed about John's game is he has a very consistent, you can tell he takes the game really seriously, which I love to see. He's got a very consistent pre-shot routine. Almost every single time. Not, I'm not out there to pay a ton of attention to my opponent's mechanics, but it is something that I notice just because it's something I think about for myself. But respect, like he's obviously worked on it a lot, and he addresses the ball almost identically every single time. There are certain points in this match where, if it's nerves or whatever, but for the most part, he's doing the same things. I knew there was a chance here playing the one full into the two ball that it was going to roll in. It's not going to be a big deal because I've got shape on the 3. I do have to look at the 5. And in this case, getting on the 4, I could play a breakout off the 4 into the 5, or I can try to come into the 5 on the way down right now, which is riskier for sure. But there are sometimes in this league where I'll take something that's a little riskier just because I'm feeling good or I want to experiment. So I do try to nudge into the 5. I get super close. Now the 5 does go. The 5 goes in the right side pocket there. Yeah, and I just double check. Basically, this cue ball position would be pretty nice on the 5. I wish I could just shoot it from here, But we do have to get back. This is probably just going to be a draw shot. I think I'm just going to try to pick this sort of position window. Don't bring the 7 into play. Luckily, the table's rolling true, because those can curve on you. A little bit below the 5, so I think I'll have to sort of roll up and past the 6, but no big trouble. Yeah, full enough into the 5. Cool. So I kind of cheated it, right? You play it into this side of the pocket to stay a little fuller on the 5. And I can manipulate the 6 in the same way, sort of cheating the pocket to where maybe coming into it a little fuller, I'm going to get past the 12, back up and around for the 7. These are touchy, but they're an essential shot. These are ones that if you don't practice these, I would really recommend it. This sort of cut shot into the side and then pick a window and figure out how to get there. So thin off the 6, nice easy angle to get around back on the 7, maintaining an angle on the 7 to get back up table for the 9. Punchy draw stroke will get you there. You don't need spin on this necessarily. That one I felt like I got down wrong. Just like set up on it wrong, so I reset. I decided to zip at this a little bit and get super close, but obviously you don't need to be this close to make something happen. And now just pick your window, but 12 wants to go here, right? So we want to be in here. Being above the 12 is better than being below the 12, unless you get into here. You just don't really want to have to shoot this in the side. So queuing low left here. And I overroll this by a good bit, by a diamond, right? We wanted to be sort of in here. Still workable position. In this particular shot, I'll actually pause it for a second just to talk about this one. If you thin this, you can bring the side pocket into play depending on where you make the ball. But if you play it a little firmer, close, center kind of cue ball, it's going to, the natural tangent is going to take you off, and you're always going to play into here. Just a little bit more pace, and you're not going to have to worry about a scratch. If you ease this in, things can go wrong, whether it's your cut angle or just the speed of the cue ball tracking to the side pocket. And I rushed it. John was hanging out on the side, and he was watching me run out, like, play a good run. And I missed this ball, and he audibly, for the whole room, he was like, oh no. Like that, like he was super invested in me getting out. And I just go ahead and dress it up for him. It's just a missed ball at the end of the day. I set up on it wrong, played it with the wrong pace, and just give that one away. Turns out there's a turtle rack here, which I did not know. Then I'm not averse to just setting up with the standard plastic rack, because I need to be practicing my tight racks anyway. But there's some nights where the balls aren't racking well, and I do appreciate having a template as an option. Pretty good break from John here. Loses the cue ball a little bit, and obviously doesn't make anything, turning it over to me. I am partially hooked on the 1. I have a look at it, but in order to make it, I will have to swerve around the 8, sort of a long distance masse. And for whatever reason, maybe it's just like a natural thing for me, but I feel pretty comfortable with aiming these. It is not something that I've spent a ton of time practicing. I'd actually be curious to see what I would get out of putting some dedicated practice time into these shots. But I tend to hit these pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I just like kind of have a feel for those. I like the lady's reaction on the top left when I hit that ball. Go back if you didn't see it. It's pretty funny. I don't see her really react to much of anything. Anyway, I don't have a good look at the 2. I didn't really get rewarded for the shot on the 1, so I'm just going to kick into the 2 and try to drive it to the other side of the 6, leaving the cue ball up table here. Kind of came into the wrong side of the 2. I do get a rail. Barely. The cue ball gets to that long rail. We do not want to be giving up ball in hand from here. John's got a long, straight-ish shot on the 2. If I'm at the table, I would be queuing at this low, draw past the 5, and get out for pull the cue ball out for the 3 in the left side. You could roll through this, but then I think you're bringing the 5-10 into play. Yeah, he's got a super consistent delivery in terms of like pre-strokes. That one, a little tentative on that final cueing. And luckily, turnover again, I get right back to the table. Speed control to get out for the 3. Roll past the 5. I wouldn't want to go between the 5 and the 10 here. I think we just go naturally above the 5. And that's fine. That's always going to be fine. Nice, easy touch. I need to set myself up for a good angle on the 4 so that I can get around for the 5. It looks like I want to be here on the 4 so that I come out into this area for the 5. Let's see. Let's see if I'm reading that right. But as I've said, even getting straight on the 4, there's still enough pocket to... Yeah, see, I'm on the wrong side of the shot line compared to what I was planning. But there's so much pocket here. I could just go high inside and still get into that same window. Yeah, I'm not scared of these. Get smooth out and around, but too full. Yeah, I hooked myself. Too full into the 4. Needed to play it. Actually, no. I needed to play the 4 more into this side of the pocket, I believe, so that it comes straighter out and down. Now I got to jump at the 5. This is pretty makeable for me. Plenty of room. Oh, I think there was a bathroom break or something at this point. Just jump ahead. Here we go. Yeah, he stepped away. And when he came back, he was like, oh, you could have shot. But when he left the table, he didn't say anything. And I'm not going to make any assumptions. I've never played John before. And if it's somebody I don't know, somebody who doesn't know me, I am not going to make any assumptions about that. Like, obviously, it's kind of frustrating to just have somebody leave the table without saying anything. But I've been burned by that before. I've continued to shoot, and the guy's like, oh, what are you doing? That's a foul. You can't play when I'm not here. So, some people will decide to kick up a fuss about that, which is petty. If you really cared that much, you would say something before you leave the table. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, guys, because, I don't want to be standing around. John said something like, it's just pool league, like it's okay. And like, I would agree, but respect your opponent by default. Well, he missed it good. The position really wouldn't have been there for him if he had made it to the short rail side of the pocket. Based on the way my night has been going so far, I think I'll bank this ball. I think I'll try to play this in the side and come around 3 rails for the 6. This plays pretty natural, and the speed should cooperate too. Oh no, it was only kind of 2 rails back. Yeah, I didn't want to come out that far. I guess the angle tricked me. I thought I was going to be coming more like out this way for some reason. I'm okay here though. Bit of a back cut on the 6. Maybe use the 9 to slow me down. I should get some kind of look at, yeah, get past the 8. I should get some kind of look at the 7 if I can get through the 9 ball. This is one where you just don't try to do too much. You don't need to get fancy and like draw or spin off the 6. Just sort of get clean through the 6 and cool. Yeah, good things can happen. Got away from that 9 ball. Here's the speed shot. I normally want to play the 8 ball on the right side here. So coming out 2 rails, straightish on the 8. You could try to hold it for the top right corner, I guess, where my bridge hand is, but I like this. It's good speed. That shot was settling for me because I was like, okay, I got the speed. I overrolled the 9 ball in the last rack and gave away the 10. That's silly, but, at least I'm kind of flowing here. I've got a better run going on. And here's another situation where I wanted to be on this side of the 9 to roll down for this side of the 10, but I'm on the wrong side of the 9, and so now I have to do a straight drawback shot into this window. And I verify this. I make sure to double check. I don't want to overroll this ball like I did in the last rack, but that's where it starts to churn. Like, here's how it went in the last rack. And I overhit the ball again. And I leave myself a very similar cut on the money ball. My dad's up there with my captain, and they were saying one of them was like, he's gonna miss it again. I was like, the other one was like, no way, no way, he misses the same shot 2 times in a row. Guys, I needed to reset. I miss it the same exact way as I missed the last one. I make a nice little run, and I dress up the 10 ball for him again. Look at my body language. Pissed. Man. All right, John, go ahead. Ooh. So, played some good pool, but give away 2 10 balls. I felt that one. Really felt that one. Need a little pat on the back from Dad. That was tough. That was a tough one. So learn from me. don't do that. Make sure to like and subscribe. Do all the YouTube things. Help me out here, because I need help sometimes. That was a tough set. Felt pretty rough about that one, and I needed to dust myself off and get ready because I had one more opponent to play that night. So stick around for that. Keep your eyes out for that video. I am gonna come back out guns blazing. I'm gonna be coming back with a vengeance after those 2 losses. So check that one out, and I will see you guys again soon.